Today we are exploring the life and legacy of Ernest Everett Just, a pioneering biologist whose work reshaped our understanding of the cell and development. Let's dive in. Ernest Everett Just pioneered the way humanity thinks about fertilization and the development of the egg with the use of marine invertebrates. Through the use of marine invertebrate eggs, he showed that the egg surface, also known as the ectoplasm, plays a major role in fertilization. Before we can dive into the major contributions he had made to the biology field, we first must talk about his life prior. Ernest Everett Just was born in 1883 in Charleston, South Carolina, and was raised by his mother, Mary Matthews Just, after his dad had passed away when Ernest was only 4 years old. Mary Matthews worked hard to ensure that Ernest received the best education possible. Despite the challenges of growing up in a very racially segregated South, wanting to pursue a deeper understanding of biology, Ernest Everett Just attended the all-black industrial school of the State College in Orangeburg, South Carolina, where he excelled academically, and after his mother realized his potential, he was sent to Kimball Union Academy in New Hampshire. He graduated from Kimball with high academic honors in 1903 and attended Dartmouth soon after, where in 1907 he graduated magna cum laude. Ernest Everett Just accepted a teaching position at Howard University, where again, during his tenure, he pursued advanced studies, earning a PhD in experimental embryology from the University of Chicago in 1960. However, Ernest was not done with his further research. During his time at the Marine Biological Laboratory in Woods Hole, Massachusetts, he focused on embryology and the question of fertilization. During his time there, he examined the egg cells of sea urchins and marine worms regarding cell cleavage. But what exactly is cell cleavage? I wish there was someone around to tell me what cell cleavage was. Pretty sure I can help you out. Cell cleavage, the fast series of mitotic divisions directly after fertilization, in which each division segregates developmental potential into distinct cell lineages. Thank you. Through the understanding of cell cleavage, he discovered how eggs block more than one sperm, or polysperm. The importance of the cytoplasm and the cell wall is in letting one sperm enter the egg to fertilize it, and it immediately changes its surface to block other ones from coming inside. In his book, The Biology of the Cell Surface, he wrote that before the actual separation of the vitelline membrane, an ectoplasmic change beginning at the point of sperm entry sweeps over the egg, which immunizes it to other spermatozoa. This means that the egg changes its surface instantly once a sperm cell enters, which blocks all other sperm before a physical barrier forms. Understanding this can honestly pave the way humanity thinks about fertilization. But unfortunately, this incredible discovery did not come without challenges. Due to the racial climate in the early 1900s, his research funding and employment opportunities were heavily limited. Due to this climate, he had a very hard time not only finding people to accept his work, but also, probably less importantly, finding love for himself. Love was hard to find for someone like him. However, due to his intellect and personable nature, he found himself in some affairs. The first of his affairs was with Margaret Bovary, who was the daughter of a pioneering German zoologist, Theodore Bovary. After Just and Bovary's time together, Just met Hedwig Schnetzler, who became his companion and eventually his wife, a psychologist he met after Howard. Later on into their lives, they decided to spend the rest of their lives in Europe. An affair like this at Howard, especially an African American man involved with a white woman, would put his career at Howard in shambles. But in Europe, while it was not encouraged, it was definitely condoned. Being a trailblazer in cell biology, obviously his work would have a major impact. His work on the structure and function of the cell membrane, fertilization, and embryonic development remains influential. He helps show that cells are dynamic, reproductive engines, and respond to their environment, and not just vessels for genetic expression. Now from a contemporary lens, obviously this would be a very big inspiration for many. However, according to a study done by the Pew Research Center, many African Americans still believe that their involvement in science is not as prevalent as it should be, but some substantial strides have been made. The study shows that unfortunately, Black adults don't feel like people who are scientists have found the highest level of success. This graph shows the percentage of Black adults who say Black people have achieved the highest level of success for the following professional groups. As we can see, professional athletes are at a high and scientists are at the lowest percent, with 36%. Unfortunately, these individuals likely think this way because they didn't have the resources to build themselves up to being highly professional scientists, like Ernest Everett Just did. Unfortunately, this eventually feeds back into itself. The lack of visible examples of African American achievement in science and the allied fields of technology, engineering, and math could be a factor that deters Black people from entering fields of STEM. A lot of these fields are biased towards white men, and seeing that as an African American man or an African American woman can definitely deter someone away from pursuing that field because they don't see someone who looks like them. They usually don't see people who they can relate to, unfortunately. Due to the aforementioned boundaries that were present in Just's life, his genius was not fully able to be realized. But through the investigation process of this project, I hope many others can see the impact that he had on not only African Americans in the scientific community, but also paved the way for reproductive and embryonic sciences. Ernest Everett Just passed away in 1941 with a long battle with cancer. Despite being one of the most respected biologists of his time, he never achieved financial security. Systemic racism played a huge role in this factor. Obviously, he was brilliant and intelligent and internationally recognized in not only the United States, but also in Europe where he resided to his death. But these opportunities were disrupted by racism at home and later by World War II, which was going on around the time of his death. During his teaching career at Howard University, he could not provide the research funding or salary that he deserved, nor could Howard, due to the racial boundaries that were present at that time. Later into his life, medical costs and limited access to quality care strained his finances to the end of his life. The painful irony of this is that way after he was gone, his scientific ideas were later validated and became foundation for modern cell and developmental biology. Ernest Everett Just didn't die a wealthy man, but his ideas outlived the barriers that were placed in front of him at that time. Today, his work stands as a testament to show that brilliance can definitely be delayed, but it can never be erased. Happy Black History Month.